friends, I am Arpit and I'm here with today's analysis. Today's 21st of June happens to be the World Yoga Day, and we are going to discuss two very important topics which are in news. The first is security in the Parliament of India. An MP from DMK was stopped by the security forces personnel to enter into the premises of the Parliament. That MP belonged to Rajya Sabha. Now, who is securing the parliament? It is Central Industrial Security Force, that is CISF. It has just taken the charge of securing the parliament premises. Earlier, this was with the Parliamentary Security Services. Last year, on December 13th, two or three people entered the parliament premises and threw color bombs over there or blasted color bombs over there. And after that, the political parties started to think about increasing or revamping the security of the parliament premises, and hence CISF was called upon to do so. Next is International Day of Yoga, 21st of June. This day was started in 2015. This is the 10th edition of International Day of Yoga. In 2014, in the United Nations General Assembly, the Indian Prime Minister tabled a proposal of commemorating or recognizing June 21st, that happens to be summer solstice, as International Day of Yoga. The aim was to increase awareness and adoption of yoga by multiple people all across the world. Has it impacted? Yes, it has impacted positively. And the positive impact was seen specifically post COVID era. In the COVID era, multiple people started practicing yoga, which helped them in their health, which helped them to recover from the after effects of COVID as well. And now they are regular practitioners of yoga, not only in India, but all across the world. And that was the purpose of it. The Prime Minister today celebrated this day in Jammu and Kashmir with the people over there. Then after that, we'll go to the MCQs and then we will be discussing the answers to yesterday's MCQs. Now, security in the parliament. So, DMK Rajya Sabha MP M. Mohammad Abdullah, he was stopped from entering into the premises of the Rajya Sabha. And he was stopped by the newly appointed CISF for the security of the parliament. And there was or there is discontent among the opposition with respect to this move of the government, where CISF have been appointed for securing the parliament premises. Opposition MPs amplified Abdullah's grievance on Wednesday. There has been disquiet among MPs ever since the parliament complex was brought under a new security regime in May this year. The incident happened last year in December, and by May this year, Parliament Security Service was replaced by CISF. So in this segment, we will see what is Parliamentary Security Service, what was it, what is CISF, and all. The earlier mechanism for security of the Parliament. Talking about the earlier mechanism, security responsibility in the complex was with the PSS, that is Parliamentary Security Service. Almost 100-year-old Watchdog Ward Committee was before PSS. Watchdog and Ward Committee was established in the year 1929, or maybe during that time only, during the Britishers. And this was replaced by Parliamentary Security Service in the year 2009. So they had the training and experience required for specializing the job of securing a premises, that is the Parliament of India. When Parliament of India is in session with almost 800 MPs, dignitaries, officials, and media personnel with sensitivity and competence. Why was the security mechanism changed? The change was prompted by an extraordinary breach of security at Parliament House on December 13 last year, when two men jumped into the Lok Sabha chamber from the visitors' gallery and set off smoke canisters. Now, this raised a lot of questions about the security arrangements of the Parliament. Now, Watch and Ward Committee, which was existing from the times of Britishers. Now, repercussions of bomb throwing incident in the Lok Sabha chamber. It was then called as the Central Legislative Assembly on 8 April 1929. The then President of Central Legislative Assembly, Shri Vittal Bhai Patel, set up a Watch and Ward Committee on 3rd September 1929. So that Central Legislative Assembly bombings done by Bhagat Singh and Bakuteshwar Dutt, and in response to that, this particular committee or this group was formed for securing the premises, this parliament premises. The watch and ward has been renamed as Parliament Security Service since 15th April 2009, which was responsible for overall security of the parliament. Now, which was responsible for? So, PSS replaced Watch and Ward Committee. Then, about PSS, PSS of Rajya Sabha. The Parliamentary Security Service of Rajya Sabha Secretariat looks after the security setup in the Parliament House complex. Director Security of Rajya Sabha Secretariat exercise security operational control over Parliament Security Service in the Rajya Sabha sector under the administrative control of Rajya Sabha Secretariat. So, PSS of Rajya Sabha is separate, which looks for Rajya Sabha and is responsible for the duty of security of Rajya Sabha. PSS of Lok Sabha, the Joint Secretary Security Lok Sabha Secretariat is the overall in charge of security operations of entire Parliament security. So, generally, we read in polity that Lok Sabha is having more powers as compared to Rajya Sabha. Here also, this is reflected that the Joint Secretary Lok Sabha Secretariat, Joint Secretary of Security Lok Sabha Secretariat, is responsible for the overall security of the Parliament premises, including Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, whereas Joint Secretary or Parliament Security of Rajya Sabha is under the Director of Rajya Sabha only, whereas Director of this or Joint Secretary of this Lok Sabha is responsible for overall security of the Parliament premises. This PSS of Lok Sabha is also responsible for one more thing, and that job is difficult. That is coordination. Coordination between Delhi Police Parliament Duty Group, which is formed by the CRPF and all other allied security agencies operating within the complex. Now, you might be wondering that why PSS needs to collaborate, or I would say coordinate with these other agencies. See, Delhi Police was also deployed in the Parliament. It was for initial checking, frisking, and all. This particular group, Parliament Duty Group, is a special battalion under CRPF. In case of any attack on the Parliament or any armed conflict inside the premises of the Parliament, like which happened in 2001, then this becomes active. PDG becomes active. They are deployed in the Parliament premises only. So they have that expertise in, I would say, facing an armed attack on the parliament, which happened just like which happened in 2001. So it was formed after that only. PDG was formed after that only. So PSS is responsible for coordinating with these two agencies, Delhi Police, PDG, and other related agencies with respect to security. Then structure for ensuring security, access control, such as frisking, scanning the baggage, is the responsibility of the Delhi Police. Initially, what happens? Whoever is entering has to undergo this. Then, an armed wing of Central Reserve Police Force, Parliament Duty Group, is responsible for intervention in case of an armed intervention is required. Only in case when armed intervention is required, then only this intervenes. The Parliament Security Service under Lok Sabha Speaker is the overall in charge of the security. So, this is there, that Parliament Security Service under Lok Sabha Speaker. So that is what we discussed also. Then about CISF. CISF as a body or as a force was not existing since the beginning. There was a fire incident in a PSU, that is HEC Ranchi, and after that the government decided to form this particular force, Central Industrial Security Force, to safeguard the industrial establishments of the government. Now you will see CISF deployed multiple places, like Delhi Metro you go or airports you go, you will find CISF. In fact, uh, that lady which was involved in that controversy of slapping Kangana Ranaut, the newly elected MP, she also belonged to CISF and she was there at the airport. So these kind of industrial establishments are safeguarded by CISF. And not only safeguarding industrial establishments, it is also deployed for other purposes. Now it is deployed for safeguarding the parliament premises also. So CISF came into existence in 1969, first of all, following a major fire incident in HEC Ranchi. And over the last 50 years, the force has seen many ups and downs, and it has evolved itself. This is the best part about this force. It is having multi-talented, multitasking, and multifaceted people, and hence it is a multi-talented, multitasking, and multifaceted force. Now let's see what kind of functions it performs. So CISF has 12 reserve battalions, 8 training institutes, and 63 other formations. According to the mandate, CISF provides security to the premises, staff, along with the security of property and establishments. So this particular function of the CISF makes it an apt fit for securing the parliament premises. CISF is providing security to the strategic establishments, including Department of Space, Department of Atomic Energy, airports, Delhi Metro, ports, historical monuments, and the basic areas of Indian economy such as petroleum and natural gas, electricity, coal, steel, and mining industries. CISF is providing protection to some private sector units as well and important government buildings in Delhi. Presently, CISF is also providing security to the protected persons classified as Z plus Z X Y, and this is given to the private people also, like Mukesh Ambani has a Z plus security cover. So CISF provides that as well. Next point, very important, CSF is the only force with a customized and dedicated fire wing. So this is also need to be considered and noted down. CISF, since see multiple PSUs were getting privatized, so number of PSUs are less as compared to earlier times, especially post I would say LPG reforms. So it diversified itself, or it diversified its operations, CISF, and it has also offering consultancy services not only to the government sector but to the private sector companies also. What kind of consultancy services, or in which areas or in which domains it is offering consultancy services? First is threat perception and risk analysis, access control and perimeter protection, how to do it, assessment of manpower requirements, security system applications, security and fire audit, document security, procedures for material security, internal intelligence, how to gather it, fire protection measures, crisis management schemes, executive protection, crowd control and management procedures, training in security and fire protection matters to the officers and men of the organization and security wings, since it has a fire, I would say, department in it of itself. So these are the consultancy services offered by CISF. That is why it is multitasking, multifaceted, and multi-talented force it is. Now, what operations has CISF taken over as of now? Central pass issuing said if anyone wants to visit the parliament, the pass is issued. So it is issuing that. Access regulation for MPs, VIPs, senior government functionaries, positioning of staff at various gates, regulation and coordination of VIP movement inside the complex, regulation of movement of stores in and out of the complex, maintenance of order in the complex, access control in the lobbies, and movement regulation and discipline in the public galleries and press gallery. Reception office, issue of temporary passes, and operation of gadgets in the complex. So it is also operating jammers and all. Coordination with other security agencies, security arrangements during meetings and conferences, rehearsals of drills, security arrangements during presidential address and all, presidential and vice presidential elections, assistance and protection to the chair. So, on all these matters, CISF as of now has taken over from PSS. PSS is going to be dissolved. It is not going to be there. But yes, it is gradually handing over its areas of operation to CISF. This is what needs to be understood. UPSC is getting innovative. So from here also questions can be asked. Next is International Day of Yoga. And this particular day, main objective of celebrating, or I would say marking this day or acknowledging this day or recognizing this day, was to spread awareness about the health benefits of yoga. And it has definitely recognized this is the 10th International Year of Yoga, which we are celebrating. We started celebrating it from 2015 onwards, after the Indian Prime Minister in 2014 tabled a resolution in the United Nations General Assembly. And that resolution was passed, it was adopted, and from 2015 onwards, we started celebrating June 21st, that is the summer solstice, when the sun is directly on the Tropic of Cancer, as the International Day of Yoga. Theme for this year is Yoga for Self and Society. Every year there is a theme, and this year's theme is Yoga for Self and Society. Now, what is the purpose of Yoga Day celebrations? This is what I've told you, but yes, it aims to raise awareness about the numerous benefits of yoga, right from physical, mental, and spiritual. Now, the genesis of yoga. bit of history also you need to know about yoga. The term yoga comes from Sanskrit word yuj. What does yuj mean? Yuj means to join, to yoke, or to unite. What are we joining or what are we uniting? It reflects on the union of mind and body. You do yoga, so there is more, I would say, coherence between your mind and the body. Thoughts and actions, restraints and fulfillments, harmony between humans and nature. So, in all these aspects, it aims at uniting. So the history of recognition to yoga. Though the origin dates back to multiple centuries ago, yoga was adopted, and India was the place where yoga started. But in 2014, this proposal was there, tabled in the United Nations General Assembly. And this is our cultural prowess. This is our, I would say, cultural heritage. And we took this cultural heritage to the world in 2014. And since then, its popularity has increased, especially in the post COVID era, where people during COVID did start practicing yoga, or those who were practitioners, early practitioners, they felt the positive impacts of yoga on their self, on themselves. Yoga strengthens your immune system. Yoga strengthens your breathing abilities. Yoga keeps you calm. Yoga keeps your mental health in a sublime state. Multiple benefits. Yoga keeps you fit, physically fit, because yoga is not only about breathing exercises, it is about some physical exercises as well. And that is how we showed it or showcased it to the world. It is definitely an element of our soft power, because this is our, I would say, one of the assets which we have. So, though the origin of yoga dates back to ancient India, however, in September 2014, Prime Minister Narendra Modi proposed to observe the International Day of Yoga during his address to the UNGA. It was the 69th session of UNGA. After which UNGA on 11th December 2014 proclaimed 21 June as the International Day of Yoga, and from 2015 we started celebrating it. This year we are celebrating the 10th edition of International Day of Yoga. Significance of practicing yoga. Now, over the years, yoga has become widely popular worldwide, not only in India. Yoga is not only about physical exercises, but includes breathing exercises and mediation as well. Meditation, sorry. It not only helps to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression, but also improves flexibility, strength, balance, and endurance. So, mental health plus physical health, it is focusing upon. Popularity of yoga has gone up in the post-COVID era. This is because of the realization of importance of yoga by the practitioners or those who started practicing yoga during COVID era. So there was a proper slang or a very popular slang, yoga se hoga. Hoga kya? Means yoga se it will happen. You will be able to save yourself. You will be able to lead a healthy lifestyle. Now coming on to the MCQs based on today's topics. To consider the statements and mark the correct one. The Parliament Security Group replaced the Watch and Ward Committee in 2010. The Parliamentary Security Service was responsible for overall security of the Parliament. Which among these statements is are true? Who was the president of Central Legislative Assembly when Bhagat Singh and Baputeshwar Dutt threw bombs in the chamber? R.C. Dutt, Sir Dadabhai Naroji, Vittalbhai Patel, or Motilal Nehru? Who among them was there? Consider the statements and mark how many of them are true. CISF is under the administrative control of Ministry of Defense. Delhi Police is under the administrative control of Ministry of Home Affairs. CISF is the only parliamentary paramilitary force to have its own dedicated fire wing. How many of them are correct? You have to answer. Not which, but how many of them are correct? Only one statement is correct. Only two statements are correct. All the statements are correct, or none of the statements are correct. Fourth, consider the statements and mark the correct one. The proposal to recognize 21 June as World Yoga Day was tabled by India in the 67th session of UNGA. The International Day of Yoga aims to increase awareness about yoga and Ayurveda as an alternate form of medicine. So, which among these statements are correct? Read very carefully and answer. Now, what is the theme for International Day of Yoga 2024? Very simple it is. Yoga for self and world, yoga for women, yoga for society, or none of the above. Now, coming on to the MCQs of yesterday, that is 20th June. Who appoints the pro tem speaker? The outgoing speaker, the prime minister, the newly elected members of Lok Sabha, or none of the above? Well, in today's newspaper, the answer is there, वैसे तो, but yes, in our yesterday's I would say, topic, the answer was there also explicitly. It is the president which appoints the, I would say, pro tem speaker. So here we have this as the answer. None of the above. The newly elected members of the Lok Sabha elect the speaker, not the pro tem speaker. Prime Minister has no role in appointing the pro tem speaker. Outgoing speaker also has no role. The oath of which of the following is included in the third schedule? A judge of a high court, Minister of Union, CAG of India. These three are there. Attorney General of India not there. Speaker of Lok Sabha not there. Okay. So Judge of a High Court, Judge of a Supreme Court, CAG is there. Minister of a Union, Minister of State is there. Candidates who are going to contest elections at the central level, at the state level, both are there. I gave you a task of finding out whether the president is included in the third schedule or not, president's oath. I would be expecting answers on it in the comment section. Third is consider the statements and mark the correct one. Pro tem speaker administers oath to the new minister, which is not true. Basically, the president of India administers oath to the ministers. Oath taking ceremony is this only. Pro tem speaker administers oath to the new MPs. This is the correct statement. So this is wrong. Pro tem speaker finds mention in the Constitution of India. He does not find mention in the Constitution of India. So this would be the right answer. D, neither one nor two. Which of the following are components of the newly signed strategic partnership between Russia and North Korea? Both countries will support each other militarily in case of an attack on any one of them by a third party. This statement is true. Energy ties will strengthen. Yes, Russia has agreed to supply more and more oil and gas to North Korea, which it was craving for. So the correct answer is C, both 1 and 2. And the last question, consider the statements and mark the correct one. Juneteenth is celebrated as a federal holiday in USA to commemorate the end of slavery. Yes, it is true. It was June 19, 1863 when officially slavery ended in the USA. This is wrong. It was 1865. 1863, the president of USA issued a proclamation, but that was not so much effective. So only one A is the right answer for this question. Now, with this, we've come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Keep watching the videos, keep attending the questions. Namaste, Jai Hind.